All right. Hopefully this is hopefully this is working here. So we're gonna do a short one tonight. We got some developing things happening with stars at the moment. Um, I believe they're changing the way the challenges work from instead of monthly, they're going to weekly. I'm hearing, so it's I guess sort of a rumor so far, but that's what I'm hearing, and there's a couple things on the site that kind of make me think it might be true. So I'm gonna do a short one here and see what happens tomorrow with that. So let's do it. Just gonna 3-bet a little bit smaller down here because he is slightly short. Monotone board. We'll go with the small size, I guess. We could maybe check raise as well. And we'll half pot turn given the stacked pot ratio. Not going to be folding, so not for this. Not having the queen of hearts and that stacked pot ratio. So normally a fold. I'm going to call against this guy. Just because of his stack depth. He's labeled green and understacked, so he's probably not the best player in the pool. But this is normally a fold pre-flop. Not going to bet for any reason here on this board. And we can't really call here either, but I'm curious to see what happens. Huh. Interesting. What does this guy have? Like Queen 9 of hearts or something? Jack Queen? Yeah. Did he have the diamond as well? He did. Okay. Gonna open this. We roll a 12. You can see the little 12 there. And down here we'll check this time. Time to bet now. Up here we check flop this time. This is one of these boards where the big blind has a lot more 4x than us, so we got to be a little bit cautious against reasonable competition anyway. Got the aces down here. No action. So yeah, if they change the monthly to weekly, I'm not sure how that's going to work. It could be better in some ways, but I can also see it being worse depending on how they implement the changes. Just gonna half pot on the bottom left. And over here we'll call on top right. Gonna barrel at least sometimes with King 9 here. Top right, we turn an open ender, but I don't think we bet this into two people still. And up here, we're going to have a very standard Very standard 4-bet. Do we want to squeeze here? That's the question. I think yes. And up here we're going to be all in with the queens as well. Not really much else we're going to do. And we got the classic flip. And we got the classic loss. And we win one. So the flip goes 50-50. The way you'd expect when you run it twice. Not the best turn. I expect to run into pocket nines here sometimes, but we're going to bet again nonetheless. And down here we do turn a gut shot, but not going to bet. We river a set. Interesting. So what 6x could he have? He could have 8-6, 7-6, pocket sixes, ace-6. All those are possible. But we still value bet. Couple things here. We'll call the ace-10. Ace is over here. Certainly and obviously going to open them. Ace-10 over here versus size. We'll just fold, I think, on that board. Back over here. We'll go with something like that, I guess. Quick fold. Up here, we could probably squeeze this as well. Try and get it heads up. That failed. This is never a thing. We'll give him a label. The player we expected to play actually folded, and it's pretty funny. Gonna check. We get check raise down here. We're gonna peel the second nut draw, second nut flush draw. And up here with the king queen, we're just gonna fold. Down here we turn a pair, hopefully not drawn dead. And we just check, take the showdown. And he's check raised to hand. He should never check raise. Too thin. King Jack on that board is just a bit absurd, but we like the absurdity. I don't have any problem with the way they play, like the bad plays, or you want to see them. So it's not. So when I'm in wine mode, it's got nothing to do with the fact that they, you know, that I don't want them to do what they're doing. It's more like the track record of it all that bothers me. Gonna be folding this turn, I think. If we got check raise there. Gonna take a free card here. I don't expect him to check call much with the player. This player was in the hand as well. Don't expect him to check call much with less than a king, so and up here there's a hand I would normally call mostly, but we're going to 4-bet it this time against this guy. And we got to realize all of our equity there with the ace-4. Obviously we didn't hit, but we got to realize the whole thing, seeing all cards, so that's nice. I think this is too thin to peel. I think we need at least a club if we're going to call, but I'm not 100% convinced of that. I've had queens a lot this session already. I think this is the 4th time or 3rd time. I've had aces a few times as well, just getting started. That's variance for you. It's a 1 in 270-ish. I think it's 1 in 272 chance or odds to be dealt aces. 1 out of every 272 hands. So technically you should be dealt aces about 3 or 4 times an hour. So I bet every 15 minutes you should see aces in a perfect world. But we know variance doesn't work that way. So you might go half hour, 40 minutes, not see aces once, and you might go see aces 5 times in 3 minutes. So, but the average eventually, if you play enough hands, it'll work out to be that 1 in 270-ish will ring true eventually, or close to it. It'll be close. So, okay, this dude gets a label. Not going to fold yet. I wish I had a heart, but still not going to fold yet. As he could just have hearts himself. But we're not going to do anything other than try and get this to showdown, really. And he did have the hearts, so there you go. Deuce 3 suited. Not an open under the gun, deuce 3 of any suit or variety. Jacks over here, we're going to bet. Seems like this would be a potentially a check on the turn if we're check 2. But, yeah, as played, it's just going to be a... I think I like raising, and then we get to decide what we want to do on the river. If we want to... I mean, if we get bet 3 bet, we're going to fold, but... Now we kind of get to decide what we want to do on the river. I'm going to check. Yeah. So I'm thinking he probably doesn't do that with a 10. It's probably a 7 or a draw. So reopening the action, I don't know. Fish like to do some weird stuff. Do we bet this up here? It's a limp pot, so I'm going to. Jacks. Jacks again. We bet jacks at least 2 times, maybe 3 times as well. Bad positions for jacks. We're not going to get this in pre-flop or anything. way too loose. I think even versus a 4-bet, this is going to mix, call, and fold. With the rake structure here and the fact that people just don't 4-bet from those positions enough. That's the tightest seats in the game right there. Under the gun versus or early position versus middle position. That's the tightest formation that exists in the game. First to act and second to act, so the value of jacks decreases. It shrivels up quite significantly. Flop an open ender here with top pair. Let's do this. Up here we flop top pair in a 3-bet pot. Start with a bet. This is a spot where he will have... So, this player will have pocket threes, pocket jacks, king jack suited, and ace king. So our hand is not insanely strong as it seems. So we're going to size accordingly. We're going to go like half pot on turn. Over here against the tight player, we've check called flop. Turn. Yeah, I think we're gonna call again and fold if we had a spade in our hand. I think, like if we had the 10 of spades, maybe, because then we would block stuff like ace 10 of spades and whatnot that he could barrel with. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe jack 10 pure calls. But against tight player, it could just be a fold. I think here we just check again. We could potentially check raise this on turn though. I mean, it would suck to get blown off with this draw, but I think this is okay. So in this situation, we block having the 9. We block jack 9, which is nice. We block 6-9, which is nice. We block stuff like 7-8 and yeah, 7-8 and whatnot. So normally it's bad to have hearts. Okay, so that dude, he's a non-believer. Not sure what to make of that, really. Don't bluff that guy, I guess. Normally it's bad to have missed hearts to bluff with, but I think when he doesn't bet the flop, he's not that likely to have hearts. So having the hearts in our hand is less relevant in terms of blocker effect. So, and we got shit tons of value hands there. We would play the exact same way. So that he's thinking like it's the caveman mentality of, if I had a good hand, I would have just bet the turn, is probably what he's thinking. Because that's probably what he would do. So it's like a bit of projection. Up here, this went bet, check, bet. The 8 of hearts. So think I'm gonna fold queen 8. And call with some other queen X. Queen 10 I would call. Blocking ace 10, I think. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure. Not sure. I'm gonna give up on this one. Queen 10 versus pot size. I'm gonna fold. So we brick over here as well. But we're gonna half pot nonetheless. And I'm gonna give up with ace 4. And down here we got a kind of miserable river. Miserable indeed. What bluffs can he have here? I mean, he could have missed spades, I guess, but I think that is not as likely. But, yeah, so he just had a bluff. Pretty weird spot there. Weird hand. Not sure what he's thinking there. Doesn't really matter what he's thinking, I suppose. And we'll sit out now for a minute or 3. King Jack down here, we 3-bet. I'm going to start with a check this time. Call in turn. Yeah. I would obviously rather have a diamond in my hand to call this, but I think against this guy, we're just not going to fold and just give him the money. And that's a little bit thin on his behalf. Up here, this is uncomfortable. Not sure what to make of it. We check raise flop here and got 3-bet. And now we don't even beat 9s. Half pot's such a weird size to take here as well. I'm going to fold. Pretty happy to fold there. Alright. Let's continue this. Didn't realize it was this late, in all honesty. I thought it was like at least an hour earlier than this. Hmm. I hate this spot here. Gonna go with the call this time, but not super thrilled about it. And this board, well, alright, we have a very easy call. So he's drawn dead to a queen, only a queen, and there's the queen. They're very good at that on PokerStars. They're extremely good at that. So he needs a queen without a board pairing, so I don't like this over here either. I'm going to give up with the 5-6, I think. Does he fold that on river? Probably. I don't know. I don't know. And over here we're getting facing an overbet, which is pretty bizarre, but we're going to call. And probably go call, because we do beat queen 6. Which I guess there's not much of, but how about we overbet ourselves? What would that be like, I wonder? That'd be... Let's do this. Why we do get called? Okay. He had ace deuce with the ace of clubs. I wish I had that 5-6 hand over again. I think I got the perfect river to bluff and just pushed out because I just get called by so much stuff that, like that ace deuce hand, for example, this one here. I mean, he called the river bet there with just a pair of deuces on the river. So, yeah. Having the 8 of hearts here isn't great, but we're not going to fold yet. I think I should maybe lead the river there. Yeah, probably should have led that one. That jack's hand, that's such a dirty hand. That one, you just got him drawn so thin. I mean, what has he got? He's probably got 3 outs twice. He's probably got 10% equity or less. Which is, I mean, you gotta win those. You gotta win those. You gotta go on a streak of winning those instead of losing them for an extended period of time. But You can't lose like multiple 80% plus spots a day or per session or every half hour or something. But that there's nothing you can do about that. It's just just seems to happen a lot. Like if I was gonna rig it, that's how I would do it. I would do it in these spots that are just hard to prove statistically that it's rigged. Because I could always just say, well, that's going to happen some percentage of the time. And unfortunately, you're just running bad, and it's happening a lot to you. Down here, I'm going to check this turn. And river, yeah, we'll just go with a normal size. We get a fold somehow. That's interesting. Up here with king, queen. I think I'm going to bet this. Just kind of hard for us to have a block when the 8 comes in. Yeah, he's never folding queens or kings or an ace or probably anything else. And over here, this is another sort of futile bluff spot, but we're going to take it. Ace king, all right. He's not even trying to win money, I don't think. And down here, we're not going to fold flop even to the pot size bet with this kind of equity. And we can't fold turn either once he makes it one big blind. We're just going to call, realize the equity. Can't hit, though. Nice of him to give us that equity on the turn, though. To give us that peel. And, yeah, I mean, we were drawn to a king or a jack. What do we want to do here with the jacks? So we just want to bet small, I think. And we get basically shoved on. I'm going to fold, especially with the jack spades. Gonna give up with the 10-9 on the top right here also. This seems like a reasonable bet check, bet hand. Let's do it. Pretty terrible board here with ace king. We don't have a club. We'll check this time. There's just not much we can do on this turn. We get 4-bet up here. I'm going to fold. And I guess I'll maybe play for a half hour and call it quits. I don't know. Like, I want to play, but I don't want to go through the... I don't want to go through it. Like, I don't want to play hands like that jacks. I don't... You know, I can't get myself off the results for some reason. I don't know. This is such a weird hand down here. I have no idea what he's trying to prove here. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he has. Over here, we have that. What did he have there? King, queen. Okay, so I guess he can 3-bet something. No one nutted. It was one of his first 3-bets. Well, we're going to win the first one. And win the second one. All right. So that's not a flip. We're 70% favorite to win that one. With the kings there. Nice to win when you're 70-30. Bit of a cooler for him there. Not much else to be done in a squeeze situation. I think it's standard. Just going to bet down here with the 10 jack. Really curious to see what's going to happen with this challenge thing. I mean, I'm only getting 10%, but there's a few things happening that once I get in a rhythm of grinding, hopefully it becomes easier. I'm going to just call with the queens up here and hopefully the big blind shoves. He does not. It's unfortunate. Should have known. I mean, the Canadian... I mean, they're just the absolute dumbest players on the planet, and it's not even close. Not even close. And we just check fold. Like, he's got 18 blinds. He should never be calling. He should always be jamming. If I flatted the small blind there with Queen Jack, he would have shoved. Yeah. I'm not going to explain the reasoning, but anyway. Yeah. What is this? Is this the same guy who... This is not the same guy, right? This is not the same guy on the one where I had the ace king, right? Just want to make sure. No, I'm just going to call here. This dude doesn't 3-bet. He literally has a 1% 3-bet over 1,100 hands, so I probably can't even call down with this. Yeah, and I'm still not convinced that he doesn't have aces here. I'm going to check again. Calling turn, trying to avoid a deuce, ace, or king. There you go. Now, tell me how that... There's a perfect example. There's no reason on earth why I should think he has aces there the way he's played that. other than his HUD stats. How do I only lose? Cooler situation than I lose the absolute minimum. He wins the minimum. It's a very good outcome for us there, even though we didn't win the hand. We're supposed to lose. We're supposed to lose the stack there, pretty much. Just gonna bet again down here and not fold to the short stack. Over here, gut shot with the 10 of spades. We're gonna continue. And we'll fold turn. And over here, we're never going to fold this against this guy. Smaller sample, but nothing we can do but just put it in if it comes to that. Don't love this spot over here either, but we'll go with the small size. So blocking Jack Queen of Clubs is not great. Blocking Ace Queen of Clubs is not great. Blocking Queen 10 of Clubs is not great. I'm gonna give up on the 4 diamonds, I think. And easy bet on the river. Hopefully we don't run into Ace Queen, but if we do, we do. We don't. Up here we have a set. Try to avoid the 6 and the 8. It's an excellent turn. I'm going to bet small again. I'm going to click it. And rip it in on the river. And hopefully he just has a 5 and doesn't fold. That's why I'm clicking it on turn. I want to retain the initiative on river to be able to do that. It's a weird spot, but another set on that board. No action though. Down here, I hate this. This dude is just not very aggressive. Gonna call this time. Try not to run into aces or kings here. Alright. Spades aren't great. River. Let's do this on river, I guess. What did he have? Ace queen? No, he had jacks. Cannot fold hand. Jacks is pretty loose call, I think, on the river. He doesn't beat a whole lot. Queen X of spades, he loses 2. Any king, he loses 2. So the real grind, this was like a mini grind the rest of this month. That was the real grind was supposed to start, well, I guess today, because it is the 1st of April Fools here. But I don't know what's going on with the monthly thing, so we'll have to we'll have to wait and see what transpires there. So this will be a really short one. We'll go for an hour. Change my mind. It'll be like 2 a.m. before I finish this, so, and it's not really, this isn't like a mandatory, these aren't mandatory hours, in the sense that, like, I'm not getting as much of a return for playing them with the challenge not being active and stuff, but regardless today, or regardless of what happens with the challenge, I still have the mini active. Got an extra day extension on that because of this change they're making, so everybody got until the end of the April 1st for some reason to finish it. So I'll be finishing that tomorrow. I'll probably need close to 6.5, 7 hours tomorrow, which is fine. Planning on doing a little more than that, I think, depending on the, yeah, depending. Always depends, doesn't it? I'm going to call down here with the ace high. Having a 7 is not ideal, because we kind of want him to have something like 5-7. But yeah, we fold. Sucks up here. We get the ace on board. I'm just going to fold now. No queen of clubs. Tight positions. All right, let's just stop there. We'll call this 0.75 of an hour. Gonna try and get the head straight somehow. Last hands always go this way. Always just really slow like this. Anyway, we'll call it there. We'll call it 45 minutes.